Bob Marley's granddaughter got an Airbnb in Rialto, California when she went to go see a music festival out there. It is a Southern California town, and her name's Denisha Pendergrast. And when she checked out, as soon as they started bringing their bags out of the Airbnb to the car to leave, to go back home, the police showed up. And one of her companions, whose name is Kels Fyffe-Marshall, posted a video. Here's some photos of the incident. We do have a video of the incident as it went down. Let's take a look.
For real?
Look at this. So we're leaving right now, or Airbnb.
Can't leave. Pulled out of the car. I don't do Instagram Live, but the police are mad.
That there's like 3 black people stealing stuff.
Stealing stuff?
Yeah, like breaking into the house and taking.
No, we're taking our suitcases out of the house.
Right, they said like luggage and stuff.
Because there's 3 black people in the neighborhood, of course.
It's possible, but like I said, you never know. So
It's not what happened. It's not possible. That's what's happening.
Right now. Listen, I understand. I get it. You guys are all trained investigators. We're doing it. We're doing it. It doesn't happen as fast as you guys come up with the ideas, though. Okay?
Because my grandma is waiting. That's what we're trying to say. And that's why I'm so annoyed. Because guess what? It's about to be cleared up, and you guys are going to feel so sorry.
There were more photos of the incident, which we have, but here's a little bit of what was posted on the Facebook of one of the people who was there. She said, a neighbor across the street saw 3 black people packing luggage into their car and assumed we were stealing from the house. She then called the police. At first, we joked about the misunderstanding and took photos and videos along the way. About 20 minutes into this misunderstanding, it escalated almost instantly. They said there was a helicopter. They locked down the neighborhood. What do you guys think?
7 police cars and a helicopter. There is no way that's standard operating procedure. I don't buy it. I mean, there were these different statements coming out later about, oh, we were just doing our jobs. We don't know what Airbnb is. This is like the way we normally handle things. There's no way this is the normal way to handle things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this incident is illustrative. I wrote down the word and I still misspoke it, of 2 things. One is the excessive response from law enforcement, because I've seen that, but also married to a widespread culture of anti-blackness that not only seeps through law enforcement, but also to the neighbor. Who was the one who called the police? I don't know, are we getting into that?
Yeah, absolutely, we can.
Okay.
The neighbor was the one who called the police.
Right, and there have been episodes on television about this, like This Is Us, about the black character taking his father to each neighbor so people knew that he wasn't somebody that was strange in the neighborhood. And so this is why black folks have to do this. And I've heard also from people who use like Nextdoor app that they've seen crazy things posted about a black man walking around.
Yeah. I live in the South Bay of Los Angeles, which is, it is super white. It's like really athletic, beautiful white people all around, and I wonder why my wife wanted to move there. It's just because everyone's so goddamn gorgeous. Anyways, but I'm on the Nextdoor app, which freaks me out in general because you're just telling everyone where you live and what's going on in the neighborhood. But it is so much like there is a man walking around in a hood. He looks suspicious, and then you look out the door and you see, oh, they're just saying that there is a black person in the neighborhood. And I will say that in neighborhood, I've lived in all kinds of neighborhoods, but like the ones that are spectacularly, like insanely white, that have so little going on, the response is always disproportionate when it's a person of color. And there's just so many cops that have nothing to do
of course.
They rally. Now, I think these cops here, the clips I have of them talking, they seem more frustrated with the process that they have to go to than anything else.
Did they have to call the helicopter though?
I don't know. And that's the thing is in these situations, it seems like everyone always hides behind this procedure when it seems like there are intuitive things everyone can do when they look around and go, oh, you guys, the cop who was in charge of the situation essentially said, I don't know what Airbnb is, and then made them pull up their receipts, their confirmations. Right. And even when that happened, the person was so unfamiliar with Airbnb that he just said, saw these and was like, I need to bring the neighbor over to make sure this is what the owner looks like and is named on the confirmation.
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna get to the owner.
So go ahead. Do you have anything for the owner?
Okay, so the owner of the house is Marie Hernandez, and she has said some things that I don't think really gel either. She kind of supports her neighbor who was across the street and called the police on them. She said later that if the kids had simply smiled at my neighbor and waved back and acknowledged her and said, we're just Airbnb guests checking out, none of this would have happened. But instead they were rude, unkind, not polite. Okay, listen, they don't owe anyone a smile or a wave or some kind of token to show that, hey, I'm acceptable. I deserve to be here.
Right.
You know, and if that's what it takes, that's a stupid barrier. Anyone can smile.
Right, and I don't think that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they wanted just a smile and a wave.
Right. I mean, literally, what corroborates this is that the police has heard on tape saying 3 black people stealing stuff. So they already identity tagged the situation, and then on top of that, they made a really ridiculous, egregious assumption that they're stealing because they're bringing out their luggage after they're done using their Airbnb spot.
I've never robbed anyone, but I sure as hell wouldn't use luggage.
Right. Well, so I think
when I got robbed, someone did take my backpack and put all of my stuff in it and left with it. I'm
okay.
Yeah, but like a luggage is much more conspicuous.
But like
if
you know,
somebody's
trying
I mean, yes. I think that is a little bit past the original things that are like very obvious of what's going on.
I just want to also mention, first of all, I heard you say this in the hallway. This is America. I wish we had a clip of Childish Gambino's video because we could just play it in and seamlessly looks like a very similar situation. But also the response from Rodriguez, which was the host, was that this is a very diverse neighborhood. It's not all white people. So I don't know why she's leaning on this race card situation.
Come on.
You don't. This is the thing. This is what people have to understand. You don't have to be in a white dominant neighborhood for anti-blackness to exist and for law enforcement to have more of a predatory presence in that neighborhood either.
Right. I mean, just to say like, oh, there were lots of non-white people here. How could we possibly have any prejudice against black people? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But there's a step in the middle. That doesn't make any sense. How many times do we have to see black people just living their lives, being normal, and everyone else around them freaking out and accusing them of things that they were never doing and calling the police? I mean, we have this coming after the Starbucks incident and a man just standing in his own backyard or sitting in a car at Walmart. It's insane. This is America.
Waffle houses as well, getting rustled up in really
over
aggressive
a plastic spoon.
Right, and I just want to throw a historian's tip. There's a really great book on this called Condemnation of Blackness by Khalil Gibran Muhammad, and it goes over like a centuries-long history of how black people got to be criminalized for just driving, walking, or existing in America.
Yeah. Yeah, Airbnb is just such a specific instance of something much larger that's happening. I very much agree with that. And Airbnb made statements about it. They said Airbnb suggests considering whether you should notify your neighbors about your plans to host, along with your plan for how to make sure your guests are not disruptive. They did say what happens to our guests is unconscionable and a reminder of how far we still have to go as a society. I think there are 2 things that are happening here. One is the obvious like racist overtones and the things that we report on this show all the time, from like severe, egregious, obvious life and death instances of racial profiling and discrimination to things like I was just carrying my bags out of my Airbnb and I now have been caught up by the police for 20 minutes, an hour. And this is a really terrifying situation that is all the same problem.
And can also end up in a fatal situation.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the police, they did release, eventually there was discussion of whether they were going to ever release the body cam video. They did do that, we watched it. It seems similar in tone and tenor to what we did see from directed by Kel's Instagram or Facebook video. And it's just a really, just like a little slice of American life.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.